Okay,
Isn't that
the Board of Public Works meeting for Tuesday, April 25th, 2023 is hereby called to order at 6:32 PM. Roll call, please.
Alderperson Akers?
Present.
Alderperson Bailey?
Present.
Alderperson Dreswicki?
Present.
John Graber?
Present.
Denise Collins?
Present.
Also present, Katz, Laskowski, Haas, and our special guest, Jeff Tamblin.
Oh, special guest Jeff, huh? Excellent, excellent. Okay, item number 3, election of chairperson for the Board of Public Works. Any nominations for the Board of Public Works?
I will nominate Bruce Bailey.
I will second if we need a second.
Nominated by Andrew Drzewiecki, seconded by Pam Akers. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Okay, we have a nomination. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. All right, thank you. Election of vice chairperson for the Board of Public Works. Any nominations?
I will nominate Andrew Jureski. I'm not going to say it right. Jureski.
You're fine, Pam.
Andy D.
I'll
That'll work
second.
fine. Okay.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Okay, all those in favor of Andrew for the vice chair, say aye.
I.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Who seconded that?
Isn't that you, Bruce?
I did.
You
I
did?
seconded
Oh,
it.
okay.
Pam and
Bruce,
then
okay.
I made the motion.
Okay, got it.
All right, item number 5, approval of the February 28th, 2023 meeting minutes. Need a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Mr.
And
Graber.
I'll second.
And seconded by Ms. Collins. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion is carried. Item number 6, any citizen commentary? Not today. All right. Item number 7, approve granting temporary limited easements to the Wisconsin Department of Transportation and waivers of appraisal. We had those in our packet, and
Okay, so, the Wisconsin Department of Transportation is gonna be resurfacing, Highway 24, Forest Home Avenue in Greenfield. And, the project includes spot replacement of sidewalk and curb ramps and some new sidewalk and curb ramps. And, they're gonna need some temporary limited easements for grading on 2 city-owned parcels. Parcel 17 is right in front of City Hall here, over by the Clear Channel sign. And parcel 73 is near City Hall. It's actually a little piece of land we own along Forest Home, just on the north side of Cold Spring. So they're gonna be paying us $2,000 and $300 respectively for those 2 easements. So that's just so that they can, when they put the sidewalk in, they can grade behind the curb and gutter, and then they'll replace the lawn afterward. If we accept these nominal amounts, we also need to approve the associated waivers of appraisal, meaning we're accepting that dollar amount. We're not asking them to do an appraisal, and typically for something like this, there's really no need to do an appraisal.
Make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Bushman Akers, second by Collins. Any questions or further discussion on it? So the sidewalks are gonna go,
They're replacing sidewalks, slabs that are bad, and they're also replacing the curb ramps so that they're ADA accessible. And then there is some new sidewalk going in along there where there's missing sections. So they'll have continuous sidewalk up and down Forest Home.
okay. We had a motion and a second, right?
Yep.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. All right, number 8, approve an agreement with Wisconsin Department of Transportation accepting a grant for the design and construction of Power Line Trail Phase 3.
Okay,
Mr. Katz.
let me get to that page. So, Wisconsin Department of Transportation has given us a grant to fund 80% of $1,247,610 for the design and the construction of the Powerline Trail Phase 3. If you look at the map on the screen, the project will extend the Powerline Trail in the We Energies easement corridor south of Layton, just south of Layton Avenue. So it starts at the Root River and it heads west to Edgerton Avenue in Hales Corners. The project includes a bridge across the Root River and a connection to the Brookside Meadow Park playground. That's near Rose, the Rose Innovation, Radler Rose, yep. And Greenfield's share of the grant match will be included in future capital improvement budgets. And the table on the committee sheet gave detail on what the funding was paying for and how much was paid for by the grant and how much is going to be paid for by the city. So Phase 3 of the Powerline Trail. Phase 2 will be under construction next year. This phase is probably out a little bit further, maybe 2026 probably. I think it's
make a
primarily in your district, Bruce.
Great.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement with Wisconsin DOT accepting the grant and design and construction of the Powerline Trail Phase 3.
And I'll second.
Okay, motion by Akers, second by Duzwicki. Any further discussion?
I want to say one of my, it may have been the first or one of my first board meetings was one of the discussing the Powerline Trail. We approved something, and it's just great to see how far it's come along and how much of a success it's been since then. So absolutely, we need to continue doing it.
Yeah. Great job with the grants, too.
Yeah, that's great that we got the grant.
And people love the trail, so.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Good job.
Yeah, it's great. And I use the Oak Leaf Trail now and the Powerline Trail also. And I know that it ends right where the Powerline Trail is going to start.
Yep.
So it's actually going to go up on the curb. Right now.
Yes,
Right now you have to use the parkway to continue on Oak Leaf Trail, so it's going to be its own trail.
yeah. And it'll-
Up on the curb, away from the park, next to the parkway instead of on the parkway.
yeah,
And then you're going to be able to go across.
across the river?
Yeah, and I was just there recently, and that bridge is going to be something
Yeah.
put in.
Also, I see, because it goes over into the village of Hales Corners, are they doing part of it, or are they paying for part of it?
No, the grant will pay for the majority of the cost of the trail. We are working with the village on the project too. So
Easements or whatever we need for that?
yeah, and it's primarily serving that portion of Greenfield. It's creating a nice connection to the playground there. But it does also connect to Edgerton Avenue, which if you go down Edgerton Avenue, you're soon at Whitnall High School. So it's really a really nice connection.
Is Edgerton over there, how many lanes is it over there?
It's a 2-laner.
Oh, it's going to be difficult for bicycles on that road, huh?
There's a little bit of a
It's steep but
shoulder.
dangerous road.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a shoulder there. Hales Corners, because Edgerton's in Hales Corners, they're the ones that decided not to widen that road when they paved it a couple of years ago.
Yeah, there's a few other roads that they didn't do much with either, that they, would have been nicer if they would have made them a little safer.
A little wider, yeah. Fortunately, what's nice is if you do cross Highway 100 there's a traffic signal and curb ramps and all that, so.
Hill's Corners should be glad we're doing something like this, something like this is being done.
Yeah, it
'Cause
benefits them.
It opens, yeah, sure, it opens up the whole Oak Leaf Trail for them.
Right now, they're kind of cut off from it.
Right, and traveling down Edgerton is problematic. So now they could cut over and have access to, the Oak Leaf Trail and all the Power Line Trail when you go north from Layton. So this is a great thing. And you're saying next, how many, 2 years from now?
So next year, we're going to be doing Powerline Phase 2, which goes from 60th to 35th Street. And this one is probably 2026, I think. So it's a couple of years out.
Okay,
Time flies, though.
all right. All right, do we vote on that? We did.
I don't think we voted.
No, we
made
didn't
the
vote.
motions.
Then motion and a second, okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion's carried. All right, number 9, overview of Greenfield website geographic information system.
Okay, so these next items are going to be for information only. There's nothing to vote on. They won't be going to council. We just wanted to go over our different forms of the Greenfield GIS that the city uses every single day, and our customers use it, our constituents use it, our businesses use it. So the first one we're going to go over is the website GIS.
Okay.
And you can get to the website GIS from the city web page. There's a button, property search.
Familiar with that?
And there's 2 ways to do this. As a citizen, you can use the website not logged in, which means you can get basic information. And Jeff will kind of show like some of the basic information that people would typically do.
Can I ask a
I don't
question?
think you
Can we
need to
log into that too, or?
You can log out. Yeah, log out. We'll log out like a citizen. The stuff that's in there is mostly engineering data. So most people don't really need to log
Well,
in.
I'm just saying, like,
Right.
we wouldn't need it to log into it.
No, you can just go into it through the website.
That's
and
what I do. I just didn't know if there was
Yeah, and-
information that would help us if we logged in.
Yep, and you get a lot of information that's useful as an alder person.
So this is just the basic interface to get into the system, the public viewing?
Is your mic on?
Yeah, I probably just need to get it closer. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so, yeah, this is what the general public sees. Typically, it's a search of our assessment data to take you into the GIS map. You can search by key number, house number, or the street name. The button at the bottom is just go directly to the map. There's another button, allows you to search for survey documents, subdivision plats, CSMs. It's kind of just, a lot of surveyors contact us for that information, so we created a button for them to get to that.
Is that new? Because I don't recall seeing that before.
No, that's been there for a while.
And it only goes up to like 69? Is that true? I mean, you can only go back as far as 69 with the survey maps?
No.
Okay, all right.
So I'm just going to just enter an address, just numbers. Hit the search. So it'll pull back, based on the data I entered, it pulls back the criteria for properties. On this page, you can view the tax data. It's a copy of the,
So these are all the houses that have the address 4444.
oh, hold on, my pop-ups are blocked. I don't know where the tax portal data comes from. That's through the assessor's office and/or finance. But you can search tax-based information from that site. The View Map button will take me into the map. I'm not going to go there yet, but the property data is page. It usually has a photo, basic address, ownership information.
This is a good way if you got an address to find out who the owner is.
Or to find out what district they're in.
Yeah. And then at the bottom, if you can click on the Show Building Data, it expands and tells you more about the structure. A lot of real estate people access this site for that type of information. Going back to the search page. I'm just
And
gonna-
again, this is a public site, and it's not just, you know, us or the residents that use it, but it's businesses, like he said, real estate agents will use this.
When they want to send out those letters to buy our houses,
I'm sorry, I didn't.
when they want to send out letters to buy our houses, they want to find out who
Yeah.
the owner's name
We
is,
buy
right?
houses, yeah.
So I did a view map, and when you have the property selected, it pulls you into the property in question. The other way to get into the map is just the general citywide. But this pulls up the map. On the left side of the screen, there's a series of layers that are here. So those are all the different levels of data that we have that you can turn on and off. So for example, trees, city street trees, if you click the button, it turns the trees on and off.
Oh, that's
So,
neat.
Street lights,
so and again, the public is limited on the data they can see. We allow them to see streetlights mainly so they can get a streetlight number if they want to report a light out.
I never knew about
There's
that
other
one.
layers available.
Okay.
I'm not going to go through all of them.
no.
But that tree one, we had an intern working with, did they enter the information just recently? Somebody from the tree commission was, from DPW was working on that.
Yes.
We had a DPW employee do it last year.
Yeah, last year they were working on that, right?
2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Or last 2 years,
The
yeah.
last 2 years, yeah.
The label,
It took a long time.
yeah.
It's a lot of work.
I know I
Had
used
to
to have
visit
one,
every
but
tree.
it got knocked down by a car and never replaced. Now there's a street light there.
And then you can bring up the aerial photo too,
Yeah.
maybe zoom in and bring up, show that there's other layers and.
So at the bottom of the layer list are the aerial photos.
Oh, by years, that's kind of cool. I think
So
you have to take
they-
out those city trees, man.
Yeah, so you can go back to do different years, so you can see, so, and we can use this to like find out if somebody's done something in their backyard and didn't get a building permit, for example.
So the aerial photos are usually released every 2 to 3 years through Milwaukee County. There's programs in place, but it seems to be a pretty consistent 2-year cycle. So these are the 2022 photos, so they were taken in the spring of 2022 before the leaves come out.
And that's the difference, you'll see like our photos are with no leaves, so you can see things. And like Google, if you go to Google Maps or Bing Maps, they usually have pictures with the leaves on, so it obscures a lot.
Yeah.
Plus ours shows, we show the property lines superimposed over the photo, whereas you don't have the property line superimposed over the photo on Google.
Yeah.
Look at those bushes. Those look really nice. Nice and orderly.
So I'm gonna log in now. I should be able to close.
Don't show us your password.
Hopefully I can remember it. The problem is it auto saves.
I do have mine if you don't.
Yeah.
This gonna get, when we have, the city is gonna get appraised recently, and then this information is gonna get entered, the new city.
It'll get
appraisal,
updated, yeah.
Updated.
Yeah, so when you click on a property and view the information, that comes from the assessment data. So I'll go back to that.
The option to search by owner's name is kind of nice.
Yeah, so the public does not, they can, once the property's selected, you can see who the owner is, but we don't let the public search by owner's name, so they can't
Okay.
target someone else.
Yeah, the public can't search by owner name.
So like on the property data tab, down here, it's still showing the 2022 assessments. So anytime the assessors makes changes to that data, it eventually gets passed through to this site. So that's really the only difference on the search functions, is that you can search by the owner. And I'm just going to go into the staff map. So on the private side, we have, it's kind of a 2-level. You can have access to view all the other layers, and then certain staff have additional privileges to be able to enter information. We use this site to enter the tree information, sewer-related information. So that's, we keep control of who can enter what. So now what you'll see on the left side is the street lighting system. We show street lights, but we also show the cables, the conduits, the locations of where all that run throughout the city.
And that's and the circuits, and that's so that our DPW can use this, like, let's say they need to trace, if they need to do something, a repair, they know which streetlights are connected to which, and the wiring, and which control cabinets are connected to which circuit. So there's quite a bit more information that's useful to the city, but not useful to the public. And the other thing, too, for security, we don't really want the public to know
Where everything
which
is.
wire they need to cut to
Yes.
put out a section of streetlights.
So erosion controls, sanitary sewer, storm sewer, water. Pazer data is our pavement rating.
the
Those are
roads.
kind of the layers the public doesn't see.
We
Solid
get to
waste.
see those now and then, though. The Pacer ratings, we get
And
to see those now and then.
And as you can imagine, like Milwaukee Water doesn't want people knowing where
Yeah,
the water
when we
lines
don't
are
want
either.
them knowing where the water is either.
Right, so,
Drone flights?
There's a layer, there were some drone flights that were done, so we just had them added.
maybe bring up like sanitary sewer.
Yeah. So there's two drone areas. One was Pondview Park. So it's just kind of a very limited one-time.
But the drone flight photos are much, much higher resolution than the other photo.
Just curious, what purpose are they supposed to serve? When we use those drone flights for specific
So
parts of the
we only do a drone flight for certain projects. Like if we're doing a project, a construction project, sometimes we need drone
Did we do one in Conkle for the,
photo. Yeah,
Right.
there's drone work being flown for that.
Okay.
And like I said, they're very, very high accuracy. Not only do they give you a picture, but they give you the elevation,
Nice.
very accurate ground elevations.
Good job.
So I turned on the sanitary sewer. I hit the wrong button, but so within the sanitary sewer layer, there's sublayers. So it's how the data. So your GIS data is usually a point, a line, or a polygon. So there's different layers based on the type of data. So as I zoom in, obviously your manholes are points, the pipes are lines. And then we have the sewer sheds. That's kind of a drainage area where
Okay.
kind of what drains where.
Yeah, which houses drain through certain pipes are defined by a sewer shed.
So if I keep going in, we have, I'm going to just pick a pipe. So once I selected it on the left side, you can see, so every pipe has its own ID number. I'll click a details tab. So this tells us the main, it's just some general information that's stored in the data. It provides the cleaning history of the pipe, if any rehabilitation was done on the pipe, and televising information.
it doesn't show the televised, it just says when it was done?
This just shows, the video date. The televising data itself is very, very large files.
I would assume that's kept
Yeah.
elsewhere then, yeah.
Every video is really big.
They're really big, so
And really gross, I bet, too.
some aren't.
We call them
Critters.
We call them dirty. We call them dirty movies.
Yeah.
Also attached is a plan image or the as-built.
So I like when we hire engineers to do projects for us, they can, if they need to find out the plan from the sewer when it was put in many, many years ago, like this plan is from 1968, they can click on that pipe and then click on this link, and they can bring up a scanned image of the plan from 1968. So we don't have to dig through paper files in our office, it's all here.
Great.
How far back do we go, out of curiosity?
At least 1968.
I think the oldest sewers in the city, don't quote me on it, but 1930s.
Oh, wow.
Probably,
Had them back then?
39,
Wow.
I think was,
like in District 1, I bet, right?
yeah,
I
kind of in the
remember when we got
northeast.
our
and- yeah.
sewers.
This area here that that's gonna be, sort of hooked up to the new sanitary sewer system for 92nd Street from the new development by the fire station, right? That's gonna be hooked up. That's one of the reasons, remember, by the fire station on 92nd Street.
Was that from that neighborhood? I don't know.
No, that's a different neighborhood.
That was a
Let me-
different neighborhood, but yeah, you're right, we are gonna be doing that project where we
Adding some in there.
provide relief to those sewers.
Yeah, people on 80, I thought it was, like, in that area, right on 83rd and Whitaker.
Yeah.
And,
That was 92nd.
It's southwest of
The
there.
92nd, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's supposed to relieve the pressure on
yeah.
Yeah.
some of my
up-
problem, of the people, east of 92nd.
Yeah.
And even on, all the way to 84.
Right.
So I'm going to also select, like here is sanitary manhole.
Yeah, there's manholes, pipes.
And if I click details,
Ooh, there's pictures.
So there are photos
Yeah.
stored on here too, like manhole photos are just individual photos, so they don't
Okay.
take as much data, so they can be on here.
That one's a big one. Somebody could fall down that hole.
so this is basically the inspection, so we inspect manholes. This kind of shows the running tab. So this was last inspected in 2018. So there's a lot of fields in here that get populated. This is the rehabilitation tab. It says what we did to the manhole as far as rehabilitation. We track costs because we have to report costs to different agencies, regulatory agencies. And then obviously the photo page.
Okay.
So most of the layers that appear in here have that same type of intelligence built in. Click on something, you get images back or you get data. Just depends on what layer you're working in. So you did ask, like one of the powerful parts of this program. So I am going to run a query on sanitary sewer. Bear with me while I
Yeah, so this program, even though this is the web GIS, this program can also do queries, meaning we can search for data by different,
Keywords.
Yeah, so we have, think of like a Excel, like a spreadsheet, so for each pipe, you have all these different attributes, and so we can search on those. So this is just there should be a year installed equals, let me just do, so I can search for 1939. We'll see if my memory is correct. Maybe it's not finding any. That was supposed to go a lot quicker, so,
Perfect world.
I think we're stuck in an endless loop.
yeah, maybe we are.
Maybe do a newer one.
1985. So this is going to search all sanitary sewer pipe that was installed in 1985.
I think you should have done 1999.
It's just not processing quickly.
Just
yet.
takes a while to think, it seems.
There's
This
a,
is querying the whole city right now, right?
Yes, every sanitary pipe.
There you go.
there it is.
So there it found 36
good.
pipes. If you hover over, so it has that query capability. You can, multi-level queries, so if we need to find things that way, we can.
Yeah, so if you look at if you zoom in on that, that's a, zoom in on one of the sections. So that particular system was installed in 85.
85, so that,
example.
yeah.
That's those and more because there were
So a fun little historical resource, kind of. See development over time of the city.
Is that right on Highway 100 and like where those,
Yes, so that's Highway 100 north of Edgerton. So it runs under Highway 100 to feed the area west of Highway 100.
Very nice. Better than digging up paper and trying to find everything.
So now that's our web-based
Beautiful.
GIS. So, how GIS works is we have all the data that has been stored and continues to get updated. And, then you're able to display it with different programs, and this WebGIS is just one program, one GIS program that we can use to display it. So now item number 10 refers to our desktop geographic information system. So now we also have expensive and more complicated to use software that we can analyze this data into a much greater degree. And it's the software we use for updating these data sets and adding to them. And we have a number of people in the office that are experts at using the desktop GIS, and we have some people in the office that are maybe not experts, but they're very proficient. So engineering, Brian uses it on the engineering side, project side, and for example, and Christie uses it on the planning side.
Okay.
So it's yet another level of GIS that you can do things with. So for example, we're gonna bring up a couple of maps that were created with desktop GIS. So what it was is we wanted to work with the DPW to create to create some planning tools. So, you know, you've got DPW and they've got their guys and they got their equipment, and every year they go out and they do sewer cleaning and sewer televising, for example. So this is a map that divides the city up into 8 sections, 8 areas that are manageable in size for the crew to take care of in a year, because it's pretty labor intensive to do it. And so this particular this particular map shows how we'll do CCTV, we'll closed circuit television, the pipes in those sanitary sewer pipes in each of those areas once every 8 years. And then the cleaning we can do more quickly, and cleaning is needs to be done on a more frequent basis. So that's done once every 4 years. So in other words, we do televising in one area each year, and we do cleaning in 2 areas in each year. And then there are some pipes that are very difficult for the city to access. They are where the vehicle that does the televising needs to go off-road because they go through, I'll say parkland or private lands. So we actually have to contract those out, and we hire a company to do those. So this map is a great planning tool because we can give this map to, we can work with Department of Public Works, and that gives them an area, that gives them a detailed description of the area they need to do at any given year, and whether it's cleaning or televising.
Have they started doing stuff with Area 2 yet? I noticed that's this year for CCTV.
That was completed last week.
Oh, great.
Nice.
Yeah, John can explain, we have a new employee on our team now who's very proficient.
He's very proficient. We were able to hire a gentleman from Visu Sewer who had, I think, over 8 years at Visu Sewer, so he's been a great asset to the city and our department for cleaning and televising. So in my report, I will say that we're finished cleaning area 2 and televising, or televising area 2 and cleaning areas 2 and 6 so far this year. So,
So you could hit another one now, right?
What that does is that by freeing up, by having proficient employees like that, it frees us up to do the other things that we need to do.
Great.
It's a lot, so.
this has been extremely helpful for us to plan. I can tell you, it's just been very helpful, and I'll keep it at that. Yeah.
Looks like it would be.
And you can see by the color too, like the areas, but you can also see the ones in black. Those are the problem areas, the ones that are very difficult to access.
So
that we
those
do
are the
by
contract ones?
And I think also diameter too, some of the bigger sewers, like it looks like the one that flows on Honey Creek,
Yep.
between Grange and Edgerton. It's a very, very large sewer.
Okay.
And it requires, a little different equipment than we have, I think.
Yeah. Usually, it's usually right around 18-inch diameter pipe. It's a bigger pipe, and usually there's a consistent amount of flow, so this camera runs on a tractor down the pipe, so you have to have bigger tractors or bigger equipment to handle the bigger pipe. So that's most of the contract areas you see.
And remember, our guys have to set up in the middle of the road when they do this, including Loomis and Layton and all the busy streets. Do we have another?
We had the capital.
Okay, no, so that was an example of what we can do with the more sophisticated GIS in terms of creating maps and doing planning. Here's another one. So this is our pavement improvement plan. This is we try to have a 5-year plan that we update more frequently than every 5 years. So this one is 2023 through 27. And it shows by color, it shows which roads we're gonna be doing resurfacing or reconstruction or concrete repair. So, you can,
Is the red one over here?
what's that?
The red one, is that the one between City Hall basically and
That one's, says
60th?
2027.
Yep.
And then, purple is next year, green is this year, like this year. you
Purple's
can-
all over the place.
Yeah, yep, yeah.
You can see the green up on, off of Howard there, up on the,
It looks a little Packerish, with the green and the gold right there. You got green and then you got gold right under it, so.
So wait, what are the Chicago Bears, black and?
black and orange.
At least that purple's nowhere near that gold.
Yeah, so another example of what we can do from a planning perspective to portray information more internally. So it's a busy map, it's a detailed map, but it's really, really useful. We do post this one on the web. People are interested in it. And like the utilities are interested in this map too, because they're like, oh, we see you're gonna be tearing up such and such street. We're gonna get in there ahead of you and
Do the water mains.
water, or we're gonna replace the gas line, or, cause they know if they go in ahead of us, they don't have to do as much repair.
And we appreciate it more because we don't want them tearing up a brand-new road that we just put in.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So that is our desktop GIS overview. And then we have another type of GIS. It's a little bit newer thing that other people that use GIS and municipalities like ours are using some more than others. So what these are is you can create very targeted maps for the general public. So maps that serve a very specific purpose and they're directed toward people that who don't want to be burdened with all those layers and check boxes and things like that. So if you go to one of the 2 maps that we have on there now, we have, the first one we created was the garbage and recycling map. So one of the things so this is called ArcGIS. And what it does is it allows us to create these friendly web page style maps that are very, very easy to read, and they're interactive. So one of the things that people want to know is, what day does my garbage get picked up, and what day does my recycling get picked up? So if you look at this map here, and we'll get into a little more detail in a second, but Monday A, Monday B, Tuesday A, Tuesday B. A means, I believe A is the day when it's garbage only, and garbage and recycling, garbage.
And yard
Everybody gets
waste.
like, everybody in this area gets their garbage picked up on Monday, but the A's get their recycling that week, and the B's get their recycling the opposite week.
And yard waste is opposite of recycling too.
Yeah, and yard waste too. So, for example, you can put in an address, so put in 5423 South 46. So, so my wife says, take out the garbage, and I don't know which one to take out. So now I can put my address in there, and I'm like, oh, okay, so now I know that I'm Wednesday B. But if I want to get more information, I can actually, what we did was, for each of the A's and B's and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
nice.
we actually created an individual calendar that you can, it's PDF format, so you can print it out. So any resident can put this on their refrigerator, and it's specific to them. It's not a calendar that shows everybody in the city and what day their garbage is. Like I said, we're trying to be very, very user-friendly.
Nice.
I asked my mom because my mom is on the same
Targeted.
schedule as me, so I just
Yeah,
asked her.
so your mom's by me, so this is probably her schedule too.
It is, and it's my schedule too.
And we have to update these, so, every year, so.
Okay.
Because the calendar changes, so, you can see real clear, like so garbage day for me is tomorrow, and it's April 26th. So
And
that
it's
means
yard waste done.
Garbage and yard waste, so
I got my garbage out. I didn't have any yard waste to put
Okay,
out.
no yard waste yet, so, yeah, so I know what I gotta do.
Mine comes very early in the morning, so I have to have it out already.
But this is something that you can do a lot of different things with these user-friendly maps. So go back to the map. So like I said, it has a search function, which is really nice. It has the colors. You could also, I believe, you can click on a house. Can you click on a house? So like you can look at, if you can find your house on the map, you can get to it that way too. You don't need to enter your address. You can do it that way.
Nice.
People like this. We get a
Yeah.
lot of hits on this.
Great.
You can do other things with this. Another one we did was for another thing that the residents are very interested in, the dates, and that is the leaf pickup. Again, it looks similar, so people are comfortable with it. We did more of Easter colors on this one, pastels, and leaf pickups by district, so we clearly show the colors, and you can see if like you pick on your house, or if you know that I'm in this blue section over here, I'm in this district 5, it shows the pickup week, so October 10, 24, 7, you know what, I don't know if we updated.
We probably still need to do that for this. This
one
was
we-
last
we
year's.
updated garbage, we didn't update this because we're so far from
We haven't
leaves,
even
but
gotten
should
the
Yeah, we
leaves
haven't
on the
gotten the leaves
trees
yet, yeah.
yet, so.
Yeah, we better get this updated. Yeah, yeah, let them, they didn't even grow and much less fall off yet, but this is really, These are really, like I said, targeted, easy to read. This has the address lookup too, and you can do, you could do other things with this. We just don't have the manpower. But you can do voting district, like where do I vote? So you could use a map like this.
That's
to
something that
know,
the clerk's office
Okay.
could do, right?
where do I vote? Or, well, and that's another thing too, like, and honestly, every department could benefit from this, you know?
Sure.
Like I said, where do I vote? That's more of a clerk function than ours. Where's my fire station?
I mean, is there some funding to at least do some training sessions for the other city departments so that they have a better understanding of how to use this?
So each department has their own budget where they could do training, so each department could potentially get a license for this and learn how to create maps. They're pretty easy to create. You can also do what's called a story map, so you can do you could have a map of the city and you could show where the historic properties are, and when you click on one of those historic properties, it could bring up photographs of the properties and a story of how, John Brown's farmstead was there in 1864, and here's old pictures that show the barn and the street, when it used to be gravel, and it takes people to do that, though.
Yeah, I just think that would be, the clerk's office, I don't know that they would have the staff to do that. Plus, there's other options available to track that information that other people manage a
Right.
database for. I think it would be
But-
redundant for them maybe, but
There definitely is a lot of potential to serve your constituents through
Very
maps.
nice.
Because that's why Google Maps is so popular, because a lot of stuff you do, it's spatial, like it's spatially referenced. So I'm going to Brady Street for dinner tonight,
where am I gonna park?
or whatever. Okay, so that's the third type of GIS map. We wanted to give you a little overview of some of the things that
Appreciate it.
we do up in engineering and public works with managing information.
In other words, now we learn you color maps. You color maps, that's what you guys do.
Yeah, right. We make colored,
And you stay within the line, so that's good.
well, how'd you do that? If it was me coloring, it is.
Well, great. Well, thank you for that. Thank you. Mr. Cass, thank you. Mr. Tamlin over there, Jeff, thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Sure thing.
All right, let's move on to item number 12, Superintendent of Public Works Report, Mr. Laskowski.
All right, thank you. Good evening. Since we last met, we've gotten into some seasonal work, which includes stump removal and restoration, also some snowplow damage restoration operations we've been taking care of. With that, we transition our equipment from snow removal to summer operations, also our lawn mowing equipment and things like that. Cleaning up some traffic control and doing a lot of sign repairs as well. Recently, we had some staff attend training at CIVMIC, our insurance company, for confined space entry, and then work zone safety. So if we're tapering down a lane for some work on a shoulder, on a curb, that we know how to properly do that. Other projects we've been doing or are on right now. Conkle Park, we recently installed additional lighting on the east side of the farmer's market. That included 3 light pole bases, some conduit, and repurposing of 3 light poles for some additional lighting over there on the east side of the farmer's market.
I've been seeing you guys over there and hearing you over there.
Yeah. We also continue the prep and paint streetlight poles for the West Ramsey Avenue LED retrofit. That's ongoing, as well as we're prepping 6 poles for Kawicki Park parking lot lights upgrades later this summer. We'll also be helping IT with some security camera work at Kawicki Park in the pavilion, the Brooks Pavilion over there.
Great.
We have been assisting IT for a few weeks now with some upgrades at the LEC, the Law Enforcement Center. We've installed a video wall for their cameras that they have at different schools and things like that for their surveillance. which has been very helpful to them, as well as we made an extension to the forensics lab. I call it the phone cracking room, so that the police department leases out that space to other police departments, and they actually garner some funds for that. So that's pretty cool. So that was expanded and is being expanded as we speak. Some of our staff is also in the process of constructing the Veterans Memorial next to Centennial Park. This project is being funded by Janssen Fest. Sanitary sewer work, cleaning, we've done those areas we talked about earlier. Cleaning, 70,700 feet. Televising, we're at right about at 99,000 feet for the year. So it's April 25th. That's pretty good. Since March 1st, we've responded to 665 Diggers Hotline tickets. So that means if any contractors doing any work in the right-of-way of the city of Greenfield, they'll make the call to Diggers Hotline, and we, as well as other municipalities or facilities such as gas or electric or fiber optics, will respond and mark our corresponding utilities, which is storm sewer, sanitary sewer, and street lighting. The city fiber is marked by a separate company. We've also responded to 300 service requests since the 1st of March. And street sweeping, we've swept over 150 miles and collected over 30 tons of debris, which is good. So that's all I have for tonight, but thank you for your time. If you have any questions, let me know.
I just showed these two of the pictures of your Veterans Memorial that was emailed out to us.
Yeah, Mary Phillips did a really nice job. If you see her, let her know. She did a yeoman's job on that. So it's coming along very well. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let's move on to the engineering report.
Good evening. I'd like to give you guys all an update on our projects for this year. We're slowly starting to get into construction season. But first, just want to give you an update on our Honey Creek restoration project. That is still ongoing. I keep telling you that every month. They've been working through the winter. I would say they are well into their second half of the project. I'd say almost close to the last quarter of the project, mainly working on the east end of the creek. So they will be approaching 47th Street here in a little bit, which is the terminus of the project. As always, just a reminder, please stay out of that construction zone, even if it's in the park. It's still an active construction zone. Moving on to other projects in Greenfield, our 68th Street Concrete Road project is well underway. We had our first concrete pouring of the pavement yesterday. That is well on schedule and expected to be completed in the end of May or early June. Our other projects have not started yet. Our 90th Street and Waterford Avenue area reconstruction project, we've been given some indication from our contractor that they expect to begin in June. We Energy's gas is in that neighborhood replacing the gas mains in advance of our project right now. We have an asphalt resurfacing project at several different areas throughout the city. I still don't know a start date for that yet. We will be replacing some concrete in spot locations on Howard Avenue west of 92nd Street. That project too does not have a start date yet. When we do know official start dates for these projects, we will send out letters to all the property owners several weeks in advance of the project beginning. We have 2 separate sanitary improvement projects this summer or this year. We will be lining some sanitary mains and then also doing some spot replacements. We think that could begin late summer or in the fall timeframe. And then lastly for us, we have some funding that you've seen previously here at the Board of Public Works for planting some trees in the Whitnall School Forest. I expect that to begin this spring anytime now. We do have some other agency projects going on in the city of Greenfield. Milwaukee Water Works will be replacing their water main on Botsford Avenue and 76th Street, or excuse me, 72nd Street. in front of the elementary school here close to City Hall. Don't quite have an exact schedule yet. They've told us that work may be in May or June, which is fast approaching. And then lastly, the Wisconsin Department of Transportation has a Loomis Road Bridge replacement and their freeway resurfacing project. That project has been delayed by the DOT. They plan to rebid the project in July in hopes of finding a contractor, and we haven't quite gotten their anticipated schedule for this project. They have said they may begin this fall on those projects and continue into next year, but we haven't heard anything definitive yet.
Can I ask, is, by starting it in fall and doing it over winter, is that going to take longer to do? I mean, I'm thinking, if we have a bad winter, are they gonna have a lot of delays and it out longer than it would be if they had gotten it bid properly earlier?
Yeah, that's tough to tell, tough to say. There would most likely be a winter shutdown for some amount of time, but I would anticipate that they can't have lane closures throughout the winter. So even though if
Take the
it's
bridge down there, that's,
Yeah.
and I would
correct.
assume on the highway, are they, putting asphalt down, and can you do that in the winter? Or I thought,
No, asphalt cannot be placed in the winter. So I would, if they do begin this fall, I would expect them to do certain parts of the resurfacing project and then reopen the freeway completely and then begin again in the spring.
but we don't know about the bridge when that's coming down.
No, we don't. And the original schedule for the Loomis Road Bridge was approximately March through November of this year, right now, which is a very, in my opinion, a very tight time frame to do that
Aggressive
bridge
schedule.
compared to 60th Street and 68th Street bridges that have been done the last several years. So if you can do bridge work through the winter, you may recall those other bridges that were done actually
Started in
began
May.
in December or January, and they did a lot of demolition work during the winter months. So again, we don't have a schedule yet for their work, but they have options to work through the winter or on both sides of the winter.
I know, I just, part of me was, revved up to get this done and over with, and now it's like,
Yeah, that was a disappointment.
It was, yeah.
so it's a sit and wait, and, and there's lots of people asking about it because we were very vocal in telling people that it was coming.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to blindside anybody with it, so.
And-
Now they're gonna get blindsided whenever, boom, the signs are
Yeah.
up, we're closed, boom.
Maybe mention the 43rd Street's under design for a future construction year, and maybe mention the upcoming PIM for Power Line Phase 2.
Yeah, sure, of course. Thanks, Jeff, for reminding me. I guess I touched on projects that are more construction-based, but as you can see, as Jeff Tamlin showed that map previously, we always are looking several years ahead and beginning design and working for grants to fund projects such as the Power Line Phase 3. One grant that we received from the Wisconsin State Department of Transportation is to resurface 43rd Street from Cold Spring Road to Howard Avenue. So we are beginning that design here here in the next month. That will be to 2025 construction. So that will have a public involvement part of that design as well. Meetings will be held for that. I believe we're planning on 2 public involvement meetings for that project. That will be a major project because that road will be closed to through traffic because it will be most likely be concrete as well.
We hope it'll be closed.
Yeah.
43rd's a busy street.
Well, yeah, we're just talking about 68th, so,
That's not in my district
not mine, I believe it's his.
because
Yeah, so then additionally, the Power Line Phase 2 trail, which is from 60th to Pondview Park, That is currently being designed with construction next year. And here in the month of May, we will have a virtual public involvement meeting. So letters will be sent to adjacent property owners, but then we'll also publicize the PIM to the general public and other groups that may be involved. And we have a Powerline Trail website that the PIM will be held through. We'll have displays on that website. People can leave comments through that website. We did this for the phase 1 of the Powerline Trail, and we had great success with this type of format and getting a lot of responses, not only from adjacent property owners, but also the general public of Greenfield and surrounding municipalities that would and will use the trail when it's constructed. We don't have, I don't believe we have a definitive start date of this PIM yet, but we're gonna make it, the duration of it about 3 to 4 weeks long.
And that's powerline.org, right?
Yes.
Powerlinetrail.org.
Yeah, powerlinetrail.org is the
Powerlinetrail.org.
website we created to show all phases of the trail. And-
It's linked on our website as well.
And then we use Instagram to get out the message too, and that's been pretty successful.
Since the Powerline Trail has been in there now, I know there was a lot of homeowners that butted up to the trail that were concerned about privacy and issues and like that. How is that going? Are they accepting of it?
You don't hear anything anymore.
It's been great.
It's been
The only thing I
amazing.
think we're hearing is there's a lot more coyotes using our
Oh,
trail.
they were there before.
But now they're a little more visible.
But no, we don't get any comments from anybody now that people are using the trail. So, yeah, it's the usual, not in my backyard, but once the trail opens, everyone realizes it's fine. So,
Okay,
I got a few calls, people didn't like that, what we're gonna do with the privacy and all that, and the noise, and.
Are we gonna put up
garbage.
fences?
We're gonna pick up garbage somehow, right?
well, and we cut the grass better than We Energies did, because We Energies would cut it when it got 2 feet tall, and we keep it as.
Was that John 3 times?
We keep it nice. 3 or 4 times. It's much nicer now.
Yeah, so the grass is cut better and it's better.
I know,
and-
I heard a complaint about broken glass being out there and people concerned about people walking their pets out there.
Oh, if anybody
They
sees
cleaned
broken.
it up, the
Oh,
neighbors said they cleaned it up, but.
'cause we would respond to that too.
Okay.
But I use the trail and, especially around 84th Street to 92nd, up the hill, west. And it's well used. I mean, it's amazing.
Bruce, you're our best salesman.
It's amazing though. I have people with strollers and people walking their dog, people biking, and it's great. Even my neighbors down the way, there's a couple old guys that rented, they bought electric chairs, like wheelchairs.
Wow.
And I see them going out, they put a little flag on their thing and they go
Little
out on the
scooters.
trail. It's two guys that,
So we don't have one, but there's, on the New Berlin Trail, there's a guy that, he's got a parrot, and he has it in a cage on his handlebars.
Oh,
And he
cute.
goes up and down the trail.
We need somebody to get a parrot, Bruce.
Marketing photos, come on.
Get your parrot out there and,
all right.
start cruising it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Haas, for your engineering report. Let's go to number 14, other topics for future agendas. Anybody for now? Okay, nothing else? All right, item number 15, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion by Collins, seconded by Mr. Graber. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. We're adjourned at 7:35. I wonder if the DOT, if they care that they're going to close down the Loomis Road